Nowadays, there are truly so many different options for PC handhelds. And for most people, it's actually kind of, I wouldn't say complicated, but it is a process to actually go through and figure out which one best suits you. And so I figured, why not make a video help you sort of like a flow chart or decision tree to sort of follow what you would say yes to and then end up at the device that might suit you best. So if you're the kind of person who's very new to the PC gaming scene, who isn't particularly tech savvy but wants a portable gaming solution through a sort of portable computer situation that isn't something like a Nintendo Switch or any other alternative gaming device like a PlayStation Portal, and you want that console-like experience because overall using Windows isn't something you might be comfortable with or something you don't want to deal with all the hoopla that comes with. Something that you can just sleep-wake much like a Nintendo Switch, something that has ease of use and general community support, so if any issues do come up, they are easily or mitigated by some things from the community. And that gives you two options. One, fairly new, and I would argue a better solution at this point. The Lenovo Legion Go S with SteamOS starts at $500, which at that price point makes a pretty compelling value considering it's a tad more powerful than the Steam Deck and sort of sits right in the middle of the Steam Deck's library. And of course, the other option in this sort of ease of use, if you're new, if you want something that is simple to use and just more accessible than many other PC handhelds, is of course the Steam Deck. The Steam Deck is fantastic. It comes in a few different trims. There's the OLED models and the LCD. There are a few ways to get your hands on it. Of course, you could also end up with a refurbished unit if you wanted to save a lot of money. But for the overall ease of use category, for those of you out there who want a simple experience with, albeit more modern components in comparison to something like the Steam Deck, the Legion Go S with SteamOS is a pretty hard thing to be at that price point. It's just nice to have options now because originally there was only the Steam Deck and now there's the Legion Go S and many other devices like the ROG Ally if you want to put in the effort to installing SteamOS onto them. But this is the best out-of-the-box experience for those of you out there who want a dead simple setup. Next, if you're the kind of person that has the desire for the peak performance, the best you possibly can get your hands on, without cause of price or anything stopping you from getting the best possible experience, you're looking at something in the high end. You want something probably with Windows because it has the least amount of compatibility issues with PC games and allows you access to the full library unlike something with SteamOS on it. You're also probably somebody who wants to use their powerful gaming handheld also while they're at home with some sort of docking solution. If something like that is very important to you, that actually still does leave you with quite a few options out there, but some have some downsides than others. For example, you can get the ROG Ally Original, but it uses the MXG or MXP connector through essentially a proprietary external GPU connector that the external GPUs can cost upwards of $1,600 to $2,000 these days. But if you're serious about having something like an external GPU, I wouldn't even consider that one in the first place. There are two ways you can go down this route. You can go with Oculink, which some people vastly prefer, but for ease of use and simplicity, Thunderbolt 4 gets the job done very well. Oculink does have more bandwidth, allowing you to not be so bottlenecked over the connection for your processor and your GPU overall, but Thunderbolt does have a more simpler solution and ease of use for the general consumer. But it really depends on how you feel about it. No holds barred, you go Oculink. Ease of use, you go Thunderbolt 4. At that point, it's personal preference, but it is important to take in consideration that Oculink is significantly more rare on many other PC handhelds. You tend to see those on the higher end side of things, even within the high end. I'm talking about companies like IA Neo and GPD tend to have Oculink. Most other PC handhelds tend to not have that, sticking with the more conventional and simpler Thunderbolt 4. You're going to want something with at least 2 USB Type-C ports, so that eliminates a fair few of devices. A prominent one is the original Ally. Like I mentioned, it has an external GPU connector, but it's neither Oculink or Thunderbolt 4. So it's not really good for most people to deal with, especially if you don't want to spend an entire gaming PC's budget on an external graphics card. My personal favorite for this use is something like the original Legion Go. That has two Type-C ports, and its tablet form factor actually lends itself quite well to having sort of a docking setup at home, very much akin to the Nintendo Switch, sort of that pie-in-the-sky dream that we all hoped would happen with a supposed Switch Pro or something with a GPU expansion in the dock, which never came to fruition, but conceptually was really cool. And with something like the Legion Go, you can achieve a very similar setup through Thunderbolt, allowing your portable PC to become a very modular piece of your overall setup, allowing you to pick and go fairly easily while retaining a powerful PC at home in a capable but not as powerful portable gaming solution. Alternatively, there's also the ROG Ally X. That device is truly fantastic for these purposes, but if you're buying an Ally X right now, I would say it's a bit of a tough sell. There are a few handhelds coming just down the line that really makes the value proposition of the Ally X a little hazy at the moment. If you can pick one up on a good deal, if you find one for like $700 or $650, that is a solid deal, and I would say jump on it without a care in the world whether or not something better is coming down the line or not, because what's coming is going to be about the same price as the Ally X. Those of you who are going to wait and see, that is a perfectly valid option. Between the more accessible and the high-end options that we currently have, they're mostly holdovers from last year with the exception of the Legion Go S, which only recently made itself at least useful. In Windows, that thing was awful. It became pretty decent in SteamOS though. But some of the handhelds that are coming down the line later this year are the Legion Go 2 with the Z2 Extreme chipset. There's also coming down the line the AMD version of the Claw from MSI, which is incredibly exciting. That also has the Z2 Extreme chipset. While we don't have confirmed release dates for either of those systems, they are supposed to come later this year, which, considering we're almost halfway through, realistically, is a few months away at this point. So if you don't mind waiting, something significantly better is coming down the road. Those devices as well have two Type-C ports for a awesome, amazing portable setup. If you want a more Nintendo Switch-like experience, I would say wait for the Legion Go 2. But if you want something more akin to a standard PC handheld, the new Claw will service you quite well. For those of you who are deal-seeking, you want to spend as little money as possible. That is a pretty hard thing to be right now. Most people don't need all the bells and whistles. They just want to have something solid and good to go. And I think for the all-around option, the budget-conscious, the bang for your buck buyer who is tech-savvy enough to understand what's going on, I think your best choice is going to be something like the original ROG Ally. And if you are tech-savvy but you don't like the overall Windows aesthetic, you can install SteamOS on it now. So frankly, it becomes a pretty solid option for everybody. And if you are the kind of person who isn't really tech savvy, but you do have friends who are, they could help you through the process in turning your original Ally into a Steam Deck. I know I've had to help a few friends of mine deal with stuff like this before, so honestly, ask your friends. They might honestly be willing to help you. Other than that, I would love to hear what you guys think. Did this video at all help you decide what kind of PC handheld you want? Were there any handheld categories that I neglected to mention? I would love to hear what you guys think down below. And if I missed enough, I would definitely consider doing a sequel to this video if there was enough demand. I would love to hear what you guys think about this down below. To really like, comment, and subscribe. All the other social media coverage down below. And last but not least, have a wonderful day.